Last night, well, the way the schedule worked, well, the new moon was showing Fiddler on the Roof, and Lisa went Friday night. I couldn't go Friday night. I had to take Kate to gymnastics. She still wanted to see it. This afternoon would have been impossible. So, well, we'll go Saturday night. Now, we didn't get back that late. Got back a little before 10 o'clock. But for an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old, or 11-year-old now, I guess, she's almost 9, Roger's 11, they were both whipped this morning. They had a hard time getting themselves up, had a hard time getting themselves in the right frame of mind. Oh, and to make matters worse, with the way the schedule went over the weekend, usually, my family cleans the church. We usually do it on Saturday mornings or Saturday afternoons. We had to get up here early this morning to do that. So not only were they out late, they were up early. So if they're nodding off in junior church, that's why. If they're nodding off in Sunday school class, that's why. For us, that was a thing of unnecessary bulk. Now, does the Bible tell us when we need to go to bed? No. There is not chapter and verse that says on any given night you should go to bed at any given time. You're not going to find it. And it is not necessarily, so we're not talking about something that's necessarily sinful here. But a rule that we have and we usually keep, and we won't be fluctuating on it for a long, long time again, because we learned again last night. So we can be in the proper frame of mind for worship. We tend to finish activities relatively early on Saturdays, so that we're home, so we get things ready, so that we're ready to worship on Sundays. Now, is it sinful? No. But it's hard to be in the right frame of mind to worship when you didn't get a proper amount of sleep. Now, for me, the adults, we got in bed at a decent time for us and got up at we got our proper sleep. But kids need more if they didn't get their proper sleep. All because, of decision. Now, that's a little thing, and I'm just giving you a little example. But I had to ask myself, is it slowing me down in the race? Well, yeah, it can. So those are areas, again, that's not a chapter and verse, and don't go out here saying that Pastor Carlson or Pastor Roger said it's sinful to stay up late. No, I didn't say that. In fact, I'm saying the opposite. But for us, we made a family decision years ago that we typically don't do things late on Saturday nights. Why? Because we want to make sure we're in the right frame of mind to worship on Sunday. We treat it, basically, we a lot of times treat Saturday nights not quite like a school night, but a little similar to that. It's not, they still go to bed a little later, we still do family fun things and things like that. But we treat it, but why do we do that? So we're in proper frame of mind. Doesn't mean it's sinful, but it is it wise? Can it be unnecessary bulk? For us it is, so we don't. All right. That's just one example, and you could give many of things in your life that are unnecessary bulk that aren't sin, but that could slow you down in your Christian walk. So something to think about, food for thought. Number 4, and the last one, because our time is gone, we're going to look at 5 or 6 more next week. Will it bring me into spiritual bondage? And this takes us back to where we started. This is important. This is probably one of the greatest principles you'll have to ask yourself on something you're doing. Will it bring me in spiritual bondage? One thing is clear from what we read at the beginning is nothing should be our master than Christ. And the other part of that I think is important is many people do a lot of things that bring themselves into spiritual bondage. I grew up in a family of alcoholics. My dad was a functional alcoholic. He worked, he taught day and night school, but when he wasn't working, he drank heavy. I mean, for my dad, it would be nothing for him to drink 2 or 3 rum and cokes with dinner. It'd be nothing for my dad to drink 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 beers in a 5 or 6 hour period. He wasn't a mean alcoholic. He wasn't a raging one, but he was a functional. I've got 2 of my brothers on my dad's side have had really, really serious problems where they were not functional.